Thank you very much, Maxwell. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome also to the Minister expected. Dear Chief Executive Officer of National Youth Authority of Ghana, Mr. Rasmus, dear Representative of Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation of Ghana, Dr. Yahuza Domda, dear ladies and gentlemen. And dear youth representatives from Ghana, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Liberia and Cape Verde. I am delighted to welcome you to the West Africa Regional Workshop on Youth Information and Communication Technologies and Global Challenges, held here at Ghana, India, Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT in Accra. My name is Miroslav Bolzer. I am Secretary General of International Association for the Advancement of Innovative Approaches to Global Challenges, a United Nations accredited civil society organization based in Klagenfurt in Austria. Today's workshop is being organized by our organization, IAI, with the support of National Youth Authority of Ghana, the Ministry of Communications of Ghana, and High Commission of Canada. And I would like to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude for the support we have received and the general commitment and cooperativeness of these institutions on the matters that will be discussed today. Let me briefly present to you some background information and explain to you the rationale of the workshop. So today's workshop is a youth-led and youth empowerment event. It has been initiated by Maxwell Adu, an experienced global activist and social entrepreneur who you have seen already, who is our representative here in Ghana, and his colleague Abder Ouedraogo from Burkina Faso, who started to work with us in the year 2012 in the context of our Rio+20 Global Youth Music Contest initiative. This was a competition and innovative communication channel for young people to communicate to the world their vision of global cooperation and sustainability that we organized in the context of United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development in 2012. Our team members here in the West Africa region asked us to work with them here on pilot projects for building the institutional and technical infrastructure for our Global Challenges Action Network. The proposal has been to explore the regional potentials in a workshop and to present the results at our IAI Global Conference on Sustainable Development, Innovation and Youth that will take place 5th and 6th of June in Klagenfurt in Austria. I have here also some flyers regarding this conference which bring to your attention. And at IAI we have been welcoming the interest here for innovative activities and institution building in West Africa region. Our benevolence grew when Maxwell managed to get the National Youth Authority of Ghana as partner on board, and when we received the confirmation that the Ghana program of Canada's lead agency for development assistance, foreign affairs, trade and development, Canada, DFATD, is ready to support us also financially, we decided to embark on this journey. With this workshop here in Accra, we aim to identify partners for local and regional action, institution building and ICT infrastructure development that will connect West African youth with the Global Challenges Action Networks and global resource flows of knowledge and funding in the context of United Nations systems, programs and goals, thus empowering these young people from the region to benefit from globalized world and to become active and responsive global citizens. The year 2014 is a good time to work on these issues as we have within the United Nations system the formal expiration of the Millennium Development Goals regime, and preparations are going on at the United Nations for the post-2015 Sustainable Development Agenda, which will certainly influence the so-called North-South development cooperation paradigm from a donors and driven and nation-state focused agenda towards a broader set of goals and indicators with innovative funding schemes, including multi-level and multi-stakeholder governance considerations. Our organization has been active in the field of youth engagement and United Nations system modernization in the context of UN Conference on Sustainable Development Rio +20 by facilitating Rio +20 issues cluster on innovation. We are partners of the Global Partnership for Youth in the post-2015 development agenda of United Nations Secretary General's Special Envoy on Youth, Ahmad Al-Hindawi. And we have organized side events to the 6th and to the 7th session of the United Nations Open Working Group on Sustainable Development in New York. Based on this, our deep involvement in important UN processes, we are convinced that our concepts and tools have the potential to be a real game changer, which manifests in the statement on the back of my business card, which says that the future of United Nations system lies in Klagenfurt am Wörthersee, and that's the place where our organization is situated. So we propose innovative multi-stakeholder action networks that will work with new business models towards provision of global public goods, working with blended financing, which combines global public and philanthropic sources, but also resource mobilization on local level. With our work at IAI, we want to help young entrepreneurial global citizens here in West Africa to understand that sometimes very simple measures like protecting a biodiversity hotspot or shifting towards low carbon energy systems, planting a tree, etc., is a contribution to addressing global challenges. It is a knowledge management challenge to communicate such globally relevant local action to the global community, which has the means to reward such action. With our programs at IAI and with the Global Challenges GLOCHA Action Network, you see that's the logo here, GLOCHA standing for Global Challenges. With this action network, we are setting up, we want to connect through effective use of modern information and communication technologies young people everywhere in the world, but in the pilot phase in particular here in Ghana and West Africa with the knowledge, social energy and funding that they need to contribute in a mutually beneficial way towards addressing global challenges. One concrete global source of funding that we have in mind is the group of signatories of the Giving Pledge, led by US billionaires Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. The signatories of the Giving Pledge have committed themselves to give back to society half of their wealth till the end of their lives. This means there are several $100 billion somehow in the air waiting to be channeled towards those activities which provide the highest public added value also in the context of United Nations goals. So do you think this money will, if nothing happens, find its way to young social entrepreneurs in West Africa? I think that probably not. It's quite difficult and the links are not established here. And at IAI, we think that we have a solution to this problem. We have outlined Global Challenges Youth and ICT centers which shall foster entrepreneurship and action-oriented civic engagement of young people in the post-2015 Sustainable Development Agenda. Global Challenges Centers are local multi-stakeholder partnerships for youth engagement and youth empowerment, which will build on existing infrastructure and institutions like the National Youth Authority network we are envisaging to work with. And these centers will help to build capacity and skills regarding United Nations programs and goals, and this means building global literacy, media literacy, entrepreneurship training, etc. The centers will provide access to modern information and communication technologies and do the quality assurance, verification and monitoring of globally relevant sustainable development action, thus building the trust base for actors from countries which are usually stigmatized of having high fraud rates. And this is an essential precondition for any transfer of funds to this part of the world. Another important component of these centers is the option to use satellite-based communication technology to provide access to the internet on a broadband basis, and we have an agreement with Eutelsat, one of the biggest satellite services providers in Europe, to develop pilot activities here, and we will also work with local satellite service providers. These days we are establishing a local NGO here in Ghana, the IAI Ghana, which will work on the implementation of the outcomes of the workshop here in Ghana, while we will of course also work on implementation of the workshop outcomes at our headquarters in Austria and with our global network of partner institutions. With this, I would like to conclude my introduction to the workshop. I hope you find our work and plans interesting, and that there will be opportunities to work with some of you on concrete feasibility studies in the first phase and pilot activities for which international public and philanthropic funding will be looked for, while also mobilizing resources of the private sector and philanthropists here in Africa and in African diaspora. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish all of us a fruitful workshop.
Thank you so much, Miro. We're so grateful. That's quite passionate, very eloquent, and well delivered. Thank you once again.